Welcome to the first of the Weitz Company series on using VDC and BIM in construction. Today's topic is using VDC BIM to address the building enclosure details. We will not be focusing on the technology of this, but rather the concept and the benefits of doing this process during your project. We're going to touch on a few topics today, including what exactly it is we're doing, how we're doing it very briefly, why is it a benefit to you and to us, and also why does it help? What advantages come out of using these models when we're evaluating building enclosures? Okay, as you can see here, I've switched over to my SketchUp model, which is a tool that we use to do these 3D virtual mock-ups. And you can see that I have an elevation of a window here that is on a project that we're actually going to be removing the finishes around the window and replacing the waterproofing system behind it in order to alleviate some leaks around these windows. So we went ahead and modeled this system in 3 dimensions. You'll see the elevation view here. We have a side view, so you'll see that it's a CMU block system and with a brick facade and drywall on the inside. Give you a little rear elevation here so you can see what it looks like from the inside of the building. One of the nice things about SketchUp and most of the VDC modeling software is that they allow you to cut sections through anything that you draw. So we're able to cut a section through the window and see how it all comes together. So you'll see here that I have placed a drawing from the architect that I got that I'm using as kind of a trace to start up my model. You'll see the CMU block here and the window system. We have studs on the inside with drywall, and then also the brick cavity system out on the outside with the brick ledge, and so on and so forth. What this allows us to do is effectively evaluate the 2D details that we're getting from multiple sources, the architect, the engineer, the window manufacturer, and combine all of those details into one drawing, one model, so that we can hash out all the things that need to happen. Once we have this in 3D, we can build it virtually in the model before we actually go and do our first mock-up in the field. Now I want to be clear, this doesn't replace a mock-up in the field. It's just another tool for us to begin the thinking process and to train our guys on how things are actually going to go in the field. So how does this help you? Well, it improves quality. It improves the stoppage of work on, well, what do we do here? We didn't think about this condition because we've already thought about all of that. It's already been built in the model virtually first, and now we're actually just going to physically put it in place in the field. I'll show you a few more section cuts here. You can see we have a peel and stick system that comes down the wall over the brick ledge, and then we're probably going to cut a flashing in here, as you saw in the detail previously. You know, this is a difficult detail for us, especially on a renovation job where we have to somehow saw cut this flashing into the wall and turn it down to make sure it comes underneath the brick. We'll look at the lower section here. You know, the detail calls for the precast to return back to the block and for the water to shed off of there. Now there's probably another piece of flashing that was missing in that detail that needs to go over the top to make sure that any water doesn't, make sure it kicks out over that sill. And this is just another blow up detail of the top half of the window. And what this allows us to do is, by turning layers on and off, create a step-by-step sequence to show how the installation process will go. So we'll start with our block, and like I said, this is a renovation project, so the block and brick angle and studs will probably stay. We'll remove the window and everything around it, and then we'll start putting the stuffs back together. So we'll put our peel and stick back on, then we'll put our flashing on, come back and put our window, fasten our window in place, seal our window with the manufacturer recommended sealants, and then come back and put the finishes in around it, the brick and also the drywall on the back side, and probably another beauty seal to the window. Now, as you can see, this isn't an extremely complicated model, but it does allow us to kind of hash out and work through some issues that may come up that are tough to see in 2 dimensions. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and hopefully you guys will come back and see some more of our series on using VDC in construction.